because once again, I spent way too much. I got way too much.
Do this because people just start showing off your shop.
Just picture with me. A little bit over halfway, I would say, and I'm really enjoying myself. So this is what we're working with, and I kind of just wanted to go with a darker vibe than I think I went with that. Hello and welcome to another reading vlog. I think it's going to be a reading vlog. I'm going to talk about the book that I finished yesterday and the book that I just started this morning because I am very excited about both. But first I need to figure out where to put you because I was just going to put you on the couch, but now that I'm using this camera that doesn't go on the tripod as well, I don't know where to put you, so I will be right back. Okay, hopefully you can see me okay. I still have not figured out with this new camera, like, how not to look at myself over here. I could just flip the screen around, but then I have nothing but the camera to look like, which I guess is fine, but then I wouldn't even know if I'm in frame. Anyway, yeah, so I made myself a little coffee. I'm obsessed with my new ice maker that makes like the super tiny ice, literally obsessed. I meant to start this reading vlog while I was reading Reign of Shadows and Endings. However, I kind of flew through like the last 30 to 40% yesterday, and so I finished it. But I still want to talk about it in this reading vlog because, I don't know, I find that it's kind of more fun to do reading vlogs where I talk about multiple books. And lately I've been reading a little bit slower sometimes, which is fine. But then when I start a reading vlog, and I want to do it all in like a week or so, then I only end up talking about 1 to 2 books. So I am going to talk about this, even though I finished it last night. Reign of Shadows and Endings by Melissa K. Rorick. This was recommended to me, or at least the person I think of when I think of this book is Raven-Haired Reader. So Rachel, thank you so much for this recommendation on your channel. This is urban fantasy, based on what urban fantasy is. Like, this is urban fantasy. However, it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. When I think urban fantasy, I think of like Crescent City type of books where there's like massive world building and tons of characters and points of views and all of that. But I guess that's also probably because it's my only real urban fantasy reference point. I haven't read a ton of urban fantasies. I wouldn't say that it's like my forte. However, I did really enjoy this. This follows our main female character, Tessa, who is a fae born into a world where fae, their only purpose is to serve the legacies. And the legacies are, I guess, like the children of gods and mortals. In the hierarchy of power, it goes at the bottom, mortals, then fae, then legacies, then gods, from what I gathered. And fae do have powers, they do have like a longer lifespan, but their one and only purpose, like literally what they're brought up to do, is to serve the legacies. And one of the ways in which they serve the legacies is by being a power source to them. So I don't know if it's once a year. There was a lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff in here. There is a glossary at the beginning, which I probably should have used more, but once a year there's something called the selection ceremony where the heirs, like the children that are coming of age in these legacy families, get to choose a source. And Tessa, our main character, her whole entire life has tried to kind of go unnoticed, fly under the radar, which doesn't really work for her because she brings a lot of chaos with her. She's wild. She's very much wants to be free. She wants to be a free spirit, but everyone in her life has kind of cracked the whip down on her. This book starts out with Tessa unexpectedly being chosen as the source for a very mysterious heir of the Aries Kingdom, and that is not like really a spoiler or anything because the back pretty much tells you where this is starting out, and like I said, that all happens in like chapter 1. So needless to say, this is a very fun time because you are following a girl who has been kind of suppressed her whole life, and she's finally starting to come into her own power and figure out like what her power is going to be, what that means for her, all of these things. And there's lots of like twists and turns, unexpected things that happen. The whole entire time she is fighting this source bond, this relationship that she has with our main male character, Theon. And don't even get me started on Theon, okay? Theon is frustrating. Theon really annoys me. He does some things, the way he treats her is not, it's not good. He's very much, at first at least, a gaslighter. He's very possessive. He's very much like, oh, well, no, this is just the way that our world works and like you need to just fall into line. And Tessa, she ain't having it. And I love her attitude. I love that she fights back. I love that she's chaos. She's chaotic. She's messy. She's her own person. And I really love that. But she has a lot of trauma too. Like you get some flashbacks to some trauma, which creates some very interesting situation. I also love like the side characters in here. Along with Theon, you also get like his most trusted like advisor, his friend, and his brother as well. So they're kind of like this little cadre that's moving around and journeying throughout this storyline together. They're kind of discovering things about Tessa, about themselves, reluctantly are just thrown into this thing together. Again, trying not to give anything away, but yeah, no, this was a good time. I really liked that it's multiple point of view. You get Theon and Tessa's point of view, although Theon honestly can just stop. Like he needs to just stop. He does something towards the end. I'm not gonna spoil it, but he does something that really pisses me off. And I'm like, how are we gonna come back from this? So I am very interested to read book 2. I would say like the last 20 to 30%, there's a lot of reveals, twists and turns. There's still things that are unknown that I'm hoping we find out in book 2, as well as I'm really hoping that Tessa comes more into herself and becomes who she's meant to be so she can fight back against all of these people who have been repressing her entire life. So yeah, that was this. I ended up giving this 4 stars. It wasn't quite a 5-star feeling, and I would say mainly 2 things. The frustrating stuff with Theon, but also mainly like the writing style itself is kind of formal and choppy, and it took me a bit to get used to it. Nothing that made me be like, oh, I have to put this book down. However, just keep in mind that this author, at least in this book, doesn't really use a lot of abbreviations. Like instead of using the word can't, she uses cannot. Everything that would usually have an abbreviation is drawn out into its formal form, which there's nothing wrong with that. I know why authors do that. However, I did find it to be almost too much, because like even in the dialogue where it should be more casual, it was still very like formal and kind of choppy. And for some reason that was really taking me out of the story and kind of like throwing me off. But my brain, like as I was reading, would just add abbreviations and pretend that that's how it was written. So just keep that in mind. If that is something that like really bothers you, then this might be an issue for you. But if you can look past that, I do think it's a really fun story. And it is told in third person. Third person, that doesn't really bother me. It was more of like the writing style of it. It's pretty like simple writing. It's just that it's choppy kind of because of the removal of abbreviations, which never thought that I would really like notice something like that. But anyways, that is this. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about here. The other thing I wanted to mention with this book is that in the beginning, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like Zodiac Academy. As you get further, I feel like that feeling kind of goes away, but Tessa, our female main character, does really remind me of Tori in Zodiac Academy, and also kind of the main female character in the Bonds That Tie series by Jay Bree. She's, like I said, very feisty. So this book was kind of reminding me of that a little bit, but with like darker elements. And also keep in mind that this book, I wouldn't say is like super spicy. I think you get like 1-ish actual scenes, but sexual encounters and things are mentioned kind of throughout the book. The nature of it is kind of like the whole thing is kind of like dubious consent because of the nature of their relationship, with her being a source and not like, she didn't want this life, right? And he obviously does want this life. This is his life. So because of the nature of that relationship, it is a little bit dubious, kind of. I don't know what you'd call that. Check your triggers if that is something that is concerning to you. I think those are really the only 2 other things that I really wanted to mention about this. It was a good time. It's like 600 something pages, so it did take me like 4 days to get through, but I am planning to read the next one. I don't know exactly when, but I do want to read it. So Anyway, enough yapping about that one. But then this morning, I picked up, from my January TBR, I picked up A Fire in the Sky. This is by Sophie Jordan. Had to double check. This is by Sophie Jordan, and this follows Tamsin. I almost got the names confused because her name also starts with a T. Her name is Tamsin, and she is basically the like royal whipping girl, which means for this royal family, she was brought into this prestigious position. Like, this is supposed to be an honor, right, to serve the royal family as the whipping girl. And being the whipping girl means that she quite literally takes whippings and beatings and punishments for the daughters of the royal family, the princesses. So every time the princesses misbehave or act out or do something that the king and queen or whoever deems needs to be punished, Tamsin is the one who takes that punishment. And that, I know, is like, to me at least, is like messed up. So she's got some underlying trauma, but I think she doesn't know it. I'm only like a couple chapters in, like 4 chapters in. She doesn't quite know it yet. She still views this as an honor. I don't know if that will like change or not, but I do find that interesting, that whole premise of being like she wants to take those punishments because she loves her sisters. They're not by blood, but she loves them like sisters anyway. And the royal family, the king and the queen, have kind of taken her on as their own, even though from the outside, society doesn't like view her completely as part of the royal bloodline or the royal family. They kind of look down on her as compared to the other princesses, but yet being in this position, like I said, is an honor. So there's that aspect. And right from the get-go, you have this scene where they're being prepared for warriors. Warriors are coming from the northern borderlands, and these warriors are who protect the entire kingdom from all the uprisings that are happening, right? Uprisings from, I guess, like pirates, and I don't know. I don't quite know yet, but these warriors are well feared, but also well known and highly regarded, and everyone's kind of standing around and waiting for them to get there, and there's this like nervous anticipation. And one warrior in particular is widely known and feared, and they call him the Beast. He comes in and he basically says, because I've been, protecting your kingdom, I think I deserve a reward. And he requests that he is married to one of the king's daughters. He wants one of the king's daughters to come with him and marry him and come to the borderlands and live with him as kind of an act of good faith for all of the things that he's doing for this kingdom. So that's kind of how we start out with Tamsin finding this out. She's kind of like listening in. She should be up with the royal family, but she's not. She's sneaking around. Love that kind of character, right? Again, kind of giving Tessa vibes from the other book. She learns that he wants to marry one of his sisters and her sisters, and she is like, no, absolutely not. There's no way that the king goes for this. There's just no way. Everyone, including her, kind of views these warriors as these like cavemen, not totally civilized people, these beasts that should be feared. And she's like, there's no way that he's gonna marry one of my sisters off to this guy. I don't want to spoil anything. Again, I'm like right at the beginning, so I don't think it is spoiling anything I've said so far. But I can foresee that she's going to end up taking the sister's place because that's kind of what she does. That's her whole purpose, right? And there's going to be this whole forced relationship, forced proximity, marriage of convenience type of deal going down. And I love it so far. Like, I'm only 4 chapters in, but I love the imagery and the scenery, and the setting is wintry. I feel like I can really picture myself there. The writing seems really good so far, and yeah, I don't know. I think I've seen kind of like, not mixed reviews of this, but I haven't seen like raving reviews of this so far. Like I said, from what I've read so far, I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying the reading, the writing. I'm kind of like flying through faster than I thought I would. I'm on chapter 4, and this is also a dual or like multiple point of view book. I think so far we've gotten like 3 points of view. We get Tamsin. I think we got one from the main male character, and then we also have a POV from Stig, who is one of Tamsin's friends growing up in Cort, and he's also like the head, like the captain of the guard. So he's also in a prestigious position, but they've kind of grown up together, and I think like he kind of cares for her, and that's all I know. So far, that's all I know. and I'm really enjoying it. So those are the reading updates so far. I feel like I just talked forever. Also, before I go and read, I wanted to show you my cutie new winter sweater. This I got from Poshmark. It's just so cute. Originally, the brand is Free People, I think. Yeah, and it's just so cute. I had to have it. So showing off the new sweater. Today is Sunday. What is today? January 5th, and our plans today, it's like 11:30. The only plans we have today are around like 1. We're gonna go over to a friend's to watch some football, and I think the rest of the day I just want to read and really make some progress, make a dent in my monthly TBR, and yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go read. I'll let you know when I have some more updates. Hello, it is now Tuesday, and I wanted to give you guys some reading updates. I did read quite a bit yesterday. Let me check. I'm now on chapter 19, page 191. So I read like almost 200 pages yesterday, which puts me a little bit over halfway, I would say. And I'm really enjoying this so far, and I'm not surprised by it. I thought I would like it. I was, very excited going in, but because so many people, the reviews that I had seen weren't like great, they weren't like raving reviews, I guess I wasn't really sure if I was going to like it, but I can confidently say that I'm loving it. There hasn't been a lot of like dragons or anything yet, mostly just talk of them in the past and how there was this threshing, which is where everybody in like on the continent or in the world, whatever, kind of banded together to get rid of the dragons. They thought that all of the disease and problems in their world were because of the dragons, and they thought the dragons were like hoarding all of the wealth and yada yada yada. And so I'm thinking that there's going to be some type of reveal at some point that shows that the dragons aren't bad. I'm hoping, because dragons being bad in a book, no. But anyway, the romance is good so far. They do kind of get together like pretty quickly in this book, but not in the way that you think. It's like due to the nature of how this relationship starts. Trust me, once you read it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But because of the nature of it, they do kind of get together pretty quickly. But I wouldn't say the tension is broken, because this is a kind of like arranged marriage situation, so they're still figuring things out. Right now they are traveling to his homeland, so we have a little bit of a travel montage, which I love that in fantasy books. It's one of my favorite things. We're getting that. We're getting, the whole convoy of soldiers. You got Tamsin on a horse. Everyone's on a horse. Not one horse. We don't have that trope yet, so I don't know if that'll be a thing, but we do have that. Like I said, I'm liking the tension between the two main characters. I'm excited to hopefully see some dragons, and there's been a little bit of spice. It's honestly good. Like, I don't know, maybe I misremembering the reviews I was seeing, but like I'm really enjoying this. So yeah, those are my updates for now. Like I said, it's Tuesday. It's like around noon, I think. I've been very busy all morning long. I got up, worked out, got ready for the day, immediately got on my computer to do some work, some client work. I edited my January TBR video, which I should be uploading tomorrow. This one will obviously come out after, so by the time this one's out, you'll hopefully have seen the January TBR. I'm having a good day, a good, really productive day, which feels good being that it's the first Monday of the new year. I also renewed my business LLC. I made a student loan payment, so I'm doing some really fun adult stuff today. That's sarcasm because these are things that I usually put off for a very long time and don't want to do. I still have yet to update my like business expense spreadsheets, all the fun tax stuff. So that will maybe be coming later this week. But you know what? I feel like I've done quite a bit today. I would love to take a break to read before I have to start prepping dinner. I'm gonna make a beef stew tonight. I'm obsessed with stews and soups right now, being that it's winter. So that's the plan. It is very gloomy outside. Let me see if I can show you. This is my little workout room, in case anyone's interested. This is where the magic happens. Yeah. She's gloomy. She's wintry. That's New York for you. I'm trying to figure out. I might eat lunch soon. I'm gonna just try to sit down and read. It's so hard for me, like, when I'm being productive, where's the light? When I'm being productive, it's like really hard for me to stop. I feel like I've either got one or two modes. It's productive and I just wanna keep being productive, or I feel like a lump and I wanna continue being a lump. So I'm trying to kind of, in the new year, find a better happy medium between being a little productive every day and also setting aside time to relax, read, kind of have some semblance of balance there. But I would love to know, how's your 2025 going so far? Are you crushing those goals yet? Let me know down below, what are your goals? I think I asked that in the last video. I'm gonna go do some reading and I will let you know when I have updates. Probably the next update won't be, I'm guessing, until I finish the book, unless something like crazy happens that I probably won't be able to tell you anyway, and then I'll just get on here and tell you nothing. I am back. It is the same day. It's now Monday night. Did I say Tuesday earlier in the other clip? I don't know. It is Monday night and my sister-in-law texted me. We're supposed to be doing our book unhaul. Like, we're gonna go donate books. We're thinking maybe tomorrow. So I gotta check her text. So I wanted to go through the books that I have decided to part with. A lot of these, it's not because, well, some of them are because I didn't enjoy them enough to like reread them or keep them on my shelves, but some of them are books that I have double copies of, or ones that I just don't think I'll reread. Some of them have been, I haven't even read them yet. Some of them have been on my TBR for so long that I just don't foresee myself picking them up because they still just don't call to me. So yeah, without further ado, let's go right through quickly the 16 books that I have here. First up, we have Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune, the Barnes Special Edition. This one, I'm kind of, I don't know, part of me is like sad because I really did think I was going to read this. This has been on my TBR for a very long time, pretty much since it came out, and I just, every time I read the synopsis or the first page or I put this on a TBR, I'm just not feeling it, you know? Like, I'm just not in the mood for it, I guess, and I don't foresee myself being in the mood for it anytime soon, so this is going to hopefully go to a better home, someone who will be very excited to receive this. And by the way, I think I'm going to donate most, if not all of these, to my local library. They do like a huge sale every year that I buy from every single year. So this year I was like, why not donate my unhaul books to support that sale that I love going to myself. So yeah, that's kind of the premise here. That's what we're doing. I do have a couple that I might list for sale because they're special editions, but I don't know. We'll see. I also have Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. I originally was drawn to this because of these amazing edges and just this copy is so beautiful. It has a built-in bookmark. But guys, this was very YA. Like I don't know. Me and YA have like a love-hate relationship. Sometimes I really love them. For example, Divine Rivals over here, A Study in Drowning, This Dark Descent, A Tempest of Tea. There are so many YA books that I have loved, but this was very middle of the road for me, very meh, very boring. I think I rated it like 3 stars. I just don't care. I don't care to continue. I definitely won't be rereading. This was a meh time to me. So this one can definitely go and hopefully someone else will like that. I will also be unhauling my indie copy of Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. This one might be a little bit shocking, but I like this series. What is this, Gold Rush Ranch? I don't know, I think it's Gold Rush Ranch, but I do like this series. I loved book 2 that follows Violet, but this first book really just was not. What is this doing? Is there like something on me? Oh, it's face tracking. Anyway, there was just something about this one, like the main male character kind of was like throwing me off. Didn't really like how he was treating her, the things he was saying to her. I didn't really care for their romance that much. I just, again, found myself feeling kind of middle of the road, and I believe I also rated this one like 3 stars, somewhere in there. So this one can go. I don't really care to have this one on my shelves. I will continue to collect the rest of the books in the new covers. I think I have all the ones that are out so far, books 2 through 4. So yeah, I'm sorry to see that one go, but I also didn't like love the indie covers. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion or not, but another indie book that I will be unhauling is September Doves by Emerson Hoyt. Again, I think when I originally read this, I think I enjoyed it and I did rate it closer to 4 stars. But looking back, I literally could not tell you like a single thing that happens in this. All I remember is that the main male character rides a motorcycle and like has tattoos. I don't remember anything else. I don't really care to reread it. I don't really care to continue. However, because this is an indie author, indie copy, I'm hoping that someone can discover her books. So this one will be moving on to a new home as well. And then next we have Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce. This is a YA romance. I really enjoyed this at the time. This is very much Dungeons and Dragons vibes. They're both kind of very nerdy. Nathan, like I said, is into like D&D. Riley, I can't remember exactly what she's into, but they're both kind of like nerdy, right? And it's a little bit of like a fake dating situation to make someone that he's interested in jealous. It was a really cute, good time. I believe I rated this one in the 4-star range as well. But YA romance, I'm definitely not going to reread. So again, don't really care to keep this on my shelf, so that can go. And then this one is a book that I'm literally only getting rid of because I already have 2 other special edition copies. That is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. Oh my god, what's happening? Fuzz all over me. Yes, I am going to be getting rid of this just original Barnes copy because I have the special edition Barnes edition. That's a handful. That I recently hauled. And then I also have the Illumicrate copy that was the very first copy that I owned of it and loved and read from. So I really don't need this copy because it has like the exact same cover as the new special edition from Barnes, but that one's like even cuter. So this is one of my favorite books of, was it 2024? No, I think I read this in 2023. This was one of my favorite books of 2023. So again, really hoping that someone can pick this up and find a new favorite. And then the next one is a sports romance. We have Collide by Bal Cabra. Again, just middle of the road, didn't care for this, gave it like a 3 stars. It's not that it was like bad, it's not memorable. I don't care to reread it. That's it, that's all I have to say, folks. I literally don't remember anything about this, so it's gotta go. Another book that I feel very similarly kind of to the last one is King of Pride. I don't really remember a lot. I remember it being a very middle of the road kind of experience, and I don't care to have it on my shelves. It's book 2 in the series. not sure why I picked up book 2 and not book 1, but yeah, I just don't care to continue the series. I don't know, guys. It's another one that I just don't need to have on my shelves. And then we have Long Bright River by Liz Moore. This is a book that I actually got from the book sale that I'm going to be donating to tomorrow. I got this from the book sale probably like 3 years ago now. So this has been sitting on my shelves for a very long time. And I have no inclination to pick it up. I think it's like fiction with like a mystery. Like someone has like an addiction. I haven't been in the mood for regular fiction most of the time for the last few years. So again, don't see myself wanting to pick this up anytime soon. So I'm hoping that this will go to somebody that does read this genre. And then we have Really Good Actually by Monica Heisey. This is a book that I believe I think I read this last year, and I did really enjoy it. I think I rated it 4 stars. It was like funny and witty, and also is about like relationship breakup grief, right? So it's very, you know, it's got that relatable but like heartbreaking aspect. For some reason, fiction books, usually unless I absolutely love them, I don't feel the need to like hold on to them. So that one's gonna go. And then along the same vein, we have Summer Sisters by Judy Blume. This one I actually did not like quite as much as the last one. I think I rated this one 3 stars, like a low 3 stars. And I listened to this on audiobook, and I just did not connect to the characters or the story. And maybe that's because I listened to it, I don't know. But again, no interest in rereading, no interest in having it on my shelf, so that one's gonna go as well. The Stationery Shop by Marjan Kamali. And again, this one I got from that book sale 3 years ago when I got Long Bright River, and it has also sat on my shelves unread for 3 years. This one I believe is a historical fiction. Yeah. Living amid political upheaval of 1953 Tehran. And I just have not been in the mood for historical fiction either in a very long time, so she's gone. Next, this one might be surprising to some, and it's even a little bit surprising to me, but I think I am going to unhaul Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Marer. This one, while reading, was an enjoyable time, but I don't think I enjoyed it as much as other people. Like people who are like diehard fans of this, I'm not at that level. I thought it was okay, I thought it was cute. I thought it was a little bit like too dragged out, like the romance. I know that it's YA, I think, or maybe it's adult, but just like no spice, which is fine. But for me, I guess I didn't expect there to be no real progress to the romance. So, and then I did some research, and even in the second one, I've heard that it's like the same thing. So I found that frustrating. If that's like what you like, then love that for you. But yeah, so this one's gonna go. I also don't really care for like solid sprayed edges or the fact that this book is absolutely giant. Like if you put this next to a normal book, like why is that massive? Anyway, that one's gonna go. And then this next one, we have The Foxglove King by Hannah Witten. This is another one that I have just had on my shelves for probably like 2 years or even longer, and I have no inclination to pick it up. I've picked it up multiple times, read the first few pages, read the synopsis, I've looked at people's reviews, all of that to try to like hype myself up, and I just don't care. I don't care to read it. I don't find it intriguing. I'm not really that interested, so I'm hoping someone will love this. That's pretty much all the ones that I think I'm gonna donate. And then I only have 2 that I might put on my Pango. I don't know yet. We'll see if it happens. If I end up putting them on my Pango, I will put my Pango account like link in the description below. So if you go there and it's there, then I did put them up. And if you're interested, click that link, and you guys know how to use links. I don't need to explain it to you. But yeah, I am getting rid of Some Desperate Glory by Emily Tesh. This absolutely stunning Illumicrate edition. I'm so sad. I tried to read this last year and I DNF'd it at like, I don't know, I think it was like 30% in. Guys, sci-fi sometimes is just not for me. Like the verbiage used, the language used, it was like they were speaking a different language. I and sometimes that's fine. Like if they're talking about technology or things that are over my head that I don't really know what they're talking about, usually I can just like, my eyes will just skip past it, right? And kind of ignore that and get the rest of the story. I'll understand the rest of the story, but it was really taking me out. It was really taking me out of the story. I was reading this so slowly. I was finding that I did not want to pick it up when it was like I had time to read. I just didn't want to. And yeah. And then so I DNF'd it, and I just have not felt like picking it up since. Don't think I will. So I'm hoping somebody will cherish this and love this, because when I first bought it, I was like, wow, this is stunning, because it is. Lastly here, we have The Ritual by Chantal Tessier, and this is the Darkly Bookish Box Special Edition. And this one I actually read in a reading vlog on this channel quite a while ago, last year, like when I lived at my other apartment, my old apartment. And I think I rated this 3 stars in that vlog, but then I think I went back and I changed my rating and gave it 2.5 stars, because guys, there was just, it was all smut. Like, to me, the plot was like 10% to 90% smut, and the smut wasn't even like that good to me. Again, if this is like a favorite book of yours, please, like, don't be offended. I'm just telling you my opinion. But for me, it was too much smut, and the smut that was there was like all the exact same scene happening over and over and over. It wasn't like, you know, you get a little bit of this and then a little bit of that and like sprinkles of different things, if you know what I mean. No, it was like the same thing over and over and over. And I just, again, didn't care. Every time I picked it up, I was just like, So, needless to say, I don't need this on my shelves. It's not my like favorite special edition either. So, anywho, I think those two I will try to post on my Pango, but otherwise the other, what did I say? I said there were 16 books total, so the other 14 books will be donated to the library sale, which raises money twice a year to help fund the local libraries, which I love supporting that. So anyway, I just wanted to go through all of those in this vlog real quick, because like I said, tomorrow morning, which will be Tuesday, I think this whole time I've been saying like the days wrong, because today's Monday and tomorrow's Tuesday. But tomorrow we will be going and dropping a box of donations off. I have these 14 books, and then my sister-in-law has a huge pile of books as well. So we're gonna make a little date out of it. We're gonna go get some food, go to a bakery, and have a good little time. But I don't know when I'll talk to you next. Maybe sometime tomorrow. I'm cooking dinner right now. I've got it in the Instant Pot, so I have like 10 minutes till that's done, until my husband gets home. After dinner, after cleaning up, I'm gonna put my pajamas on and I'm going to read more of A Fire in the Sky. I'm like a little over, I think I'm like 230 pages in now, so from the last time we spoke, I've read like 30 pages. So I'm really hoping to get some more reading time in tonight. It's been a very busy day and I'm ready to relax. Hey guys, so some updates for you. It is now Wednesday late morning, like 11. We had to cancel our trip to take our books to the donation place because it's a winter wonderland out today, and so we're having a little snow day over here. But that meant that I got to finish my current read. I finished A Fire in the Sky by Sophie Jordan this morning, and I wanted to update you guys on my final thoughts, ratings, all of the things. With this one, I did land on a 4 stars. I had a really good time with this, and I was kind of almost surprised by that, just based on like looking back over some of the Goodreads reviews of this. There are some very harsh reviews of this book on there. A lot of people saying that it's just ridiculous and silly and like too unbelievable, whatever it is, that the plot's not good, or there is no plot. I would not agree with those statements. Is this a perfect book? No. Were there plot holes? Definitely. There were some things at the end that I was side-eyeing for sure. Sorry, the mail's here and I'm just nosy. But yeah, there were some things at the end there that I was definitely like giving the hard side eye. It was very fantastical, but like, let's be honest, that's what I'm there for. I'm here for the make-believe, I'm here for the escapism, and this book did provide that. I was very like in the story, I was very immersed the whole time. I was excited to pick it up when I wasn't like actively reading it. I wanted to be reading it. And I don't know, I thought the imagery that the author put in here was good. Like the setting was very wintry and lush. There were, you know, fun, nefarious creatures in the woods and like ancient magic coming back, like those kind of vibes. So I really had a good time with this. The romance, like I said, due to the nature of it, they do get together pretty quickly, but then something happens and so you still have the tension. Like, if you're worried about them getting together too quickly and then the tension being gone, for me, that didn't happen. I really liked it. And then towards the end, I would say it kind of does leave you on a cliffhanger. Like, some crazy stuff goes down. So just be aware, I would say this does end in a, like, cliffhanger. And I have no idea when book 2 is coming out. I don't think it's been even announced or anything yet, because I believe this book just came out last year. So yeah, do with that information what you will, but I had a really good time. Overall, I thought that this was kind of unique in the way that the author approaches this story. It's not like a lot of the fantasy that I feel like I generally read, and yet it still has a lot of the fantasy elements that I love, namely dragons. There's dragons, there's a traveling montage, there is spice and tension, there is, like I said, ancient forbidden magic, there are these like evil creatures, different types of creatures out there in the woods. One of them is called a huldra, that was very much giving me kind of like surreal vibes, but different. Very different. If you know, you know. Yeah, there was a lot of things, a lot of elements in this that I really enjoyed. I thought it was really easy to read. Like, the writing style is very easy. I would recommend this book specifically if you are in the mood for something that, you know, is fast-paced and doesn't take a lot of brain power. It is a shorter book for it being a fantasy. I feel like most fantasy that I pick up is like at least 400 pages, if not way longer. So yeah, I think this book is perfect for if you're in the mood for something with not as much brain power. Like, there's not a ton of, you know, info dumping or world building or anything like that. You're kind of just dropped in and it's just easy. It's an easy, fun, good time. And like I said, there's dragons. So what more could you want? But yeah, that's that. Now it is time. We need to pick the next book that I'm going to be reading in this vloggy vlog. If I want to continue on this track of reading from my TBR, I have After the Woods by I can't talk. We have After the Woods by After the Forest by Kel Woods. We have Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, Light Lark by Alex Astor, and Bull Moon Rising by Ruby Dixon, if I want to continue making progress with my January TBR. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm kind of leaning towards Light Lark or After the Forest, but I might read the first couple pages of those and maybe even Bull Moon Rising just to see like what I'm in the mood for, and then proceed from there. So once I have chosen that, I'll let you guys know what I went with. But yeah, that's the plan. Like I said, plans today kind of got changed. The pile back here, I don't know if you can see it, probably not. Ta-da! The pile that I'm unhauling there that I was supposed to do today, I think we're gonna be doing that next week. So this vlog might be over by then. Anywho, I'm gonna go. Okay, it's time for a quick reading update because I have started, as you might have seen in the B-roll I have started After the Forest. This is what the naked hardcover looks like with my limp mushroom bookmark hanging out. Anywho, I am like, I don't know, 6 chapters in? 4 chapters in. So like 50 pages. And I am liking this so far more than I thought I would. It's definitely more of a historical fairy tale. It's giving like, sorry if you can hear my husband playing video games, but it's more of like a witchy cottage in the woods kind of vibes, but make it historical and set back in like the 1600s. So like very old timey talk. There's been mention of like a war back then between, I don't know, but they mentioned like Germany or Austria or whatever it was called back in those times, a long time ago. And so I'm really liking the like time frame of it as well as the setting. Like I said, a lot of times you're just like in the woods and you're following Greta, who people kind of suspect that something's up with her. They suspect her to be a witch. This little girl who finds her in like chapter 1 or 2 in the forest literally tells her, as small children do, that people think she's a witch. And so this little girl was like scared of her and thought she was gonna eat her. And that was kind of funny. But so far, yeah, you're just following Greta as she is collecting things in the forest. She's like bathing. She meets this like mysterious guy for like 2 seconds and then he's gone. So I don't know if he's gonna come back in the story. You're introduced to lots of like the townspeople. And this whole time she is trying to find her brother because she hears a rumor, again, from the little girl that Hans, her brother, is in debt. He's put them into debt and now their house is at stake. And so she's trying to find him. She goes to the tavern. She goes to his workplace at the mill. And she's looking for him. She wants to figure out if this is true or not. And she has this feeling of dread. And whenever there is something wrong in Greta's life, she turns to baking, specifically gingerbread. So she goes home, she's baking gingerbread, and she does so with like this like grimoire or like spell book that's also like a recipe book open next to her, and this book literally talks to her, and I'm finding that to be such a fun aspect. I'm really liking that. I wanted to actually read this one, hopefully I can do it one-handed, this one quote so you can kind of get a feeling for the writing, but again, I'm really liking it. It's like beautifully written. She ignored the book's grumbling and added nutmeg and cardamom, measuring the amounts with practiced smoothness. She knew the recipe by heart, could recite it in her sleep, and yet she was always careful to work with the book beside her, open at the same dusty page, the ink worn with long use. To not do so would result in an altogether different kind of gingerbread, no less sweet, but somehow lacking. It would serve, of course, but it would not smell the way the book's baking smelled, enticing and heady, full of rapture and delight, as though not to eat of it would be your very ruin. It's just like very beautiful writing. Each chapter also starts with like a little story, a little snippet of a different time, of some like Viscount and Viscountess, and some spell, and some twins that were born, and so you're getting, again, very fairy tale, magical vibes, and I'm really liking it more than I thought I would. I'm glad that I didn't just like get rid of it without reading it first. It's definitely more of like a brain power kind of book so far. It's taking more thinking because there's more characters, and the historical aspect just like lends itself to being more of a thinky kind of book. But I think I'm liking it. I think I'm vibing with it. We'll see. Again, this is like not 500, it's like 460 page book, and I'm like 50 pages in, so we'll see if that changes. But so far I am enjoying this more than I thought. So that is the reading update. It is still Wednesday. It is like almost dinner time. It's like 5:30. I'm gonna be heating up some leftover beef stew soon, putting on my pajamas, and doing some more reading and hanging out with my husband. It is now Wednesday, mid-morning, afternoon. I don't even know what time is it. Oh, it's like almost 1, so afternoon. I did not plan on doing this in this vlog today, but I randomly got the urge to create my 2025 vision board, so I kind of wanted to share that with you real quick. I don't know how other people do this. You know how they like, well, I guess I could use, there's like an app that I could use to like just screen record and then put it in this video, but I'm just gonna turn the camera around and show you. I just think that'll be easier. So this is what we're working with, and I kind of just wanted to go with like a darker vibe than I feel like I went with last year. But some of them are self-explanatory, but I want to go through them real quick. Obviously this one, where's my finger? Can you even see it? Yeah. This picture up here is representative of my goal of wanting to continue to get in movement, continue lifting. I put a little quote that says, nourish your body with whole foods, your mind with positive thoughts, and your soul with peace. We have a representation of romanticizing my life, a little cup of coffee that says self-care, representative of my relationship, and it says I found love and friendship in one place. We have some books, we have some girlies hanging out talking about books and baking, and I want to like make socialization a bigger priority this year to like actually schedule dates with people and whatnot. I have like little vlogging representation, be patient, be loving, be kind, be gentle. This is representative of the vacation I would like to take this year with like a group of friends. We all kind of want to go to the beach. I would love to make that happen. We have more cozy reading. We have cooking at home. And then my word for the year is going to be alignment because, well, let me turn you back around. I just really want to feel aligned with everything that I'm doing this year. I feel like last year I kind of lost the plot, and that's kind of like the last many months has kind of felt like that. So I want to just really do things with intention, feel aligned with what I'm doing, and yeah. That's my 2025 vision board, kind of based off of my yearly goals. Let me know, do you guys do vision boards? And if you do, what's kind of on yours? What's in your 2025 goals? I would love to know, but that's mine. I had a lot of fun making it. It's really like satisfying to look at when you're done. So I did put it as my desktop background as well as my laptop background. I don't think I have any reading updates right now. I read like 78 pages-ish last night before bed of After the Forest. I'm still liking it, but I don't think I have anything new for you there. So if I do, I will let you know. I am back with kind of a little bit of a reading update. I have kind of on and off been reading for the last few hours. It's still Wednesday, but it's now like almost dinner time, and I am struggling a little bit. How far am I? Can you even tell with this mushroom in the way? I don't know. I'm that tiny bit through, so I'm like 30% through. Ugh, but that hurts to hold this. Okay, bear with me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like not feeling this right now. I feel like nothing's really happened. I really liked, I think yesterday I said I really liked the writing, like it's really beautiful writing. The historicalness of it, the setting is very like magical and historical, which just gives it like that little bit of different feel from most of the fantasy I read. However, I'm 140 pages in, and I really just feel like nothing's happening. It's just Greta like goes to the market. Greta's looking for Hans. Greta's trying to, you know, pay back. I guess he's called like the Burgermeister or something. That's who like is like the bank guy of the town. Because again, this is in the 1600s. So he's like trying to track him. She's trying to track him down, and he's being creepy. And then they go to this festival, and then they're selling. She's making gingerbread and selling gingerbread. And it's just kind of like these same things. It feels like happening over and over. I could just be. I'm not even on myself. LOL. I could just be making that up, but I don't know. It just feels like we're not getting anywhere. And I do feel like that's kind of what people were saying in their reviews on Goodreads, and that's kind of where I was a little bit hesitant with this book. But so I don't know what I want to do. I don't know if I want to DNF this yet. I might try to give it like one more chance tonight after dinner and like, I don't know, just read a couple more chapters and just have that be the deciding factor. If I'm feeling the exact same way, and by then I'll be like over 150 pages in, if I'm still feeling not into it, then I might DNF it, which will be sad because that is kind of the feeling I had before going into this book. Also, let me just say, the construction of this particular edition, is this a Lumicrate? I think it's a Lumicrate. This particular edition is like very stiff. it's very tightly bound, and even when you try to like, not that I'm like trying to crack the spine, but even if you kind of like try to really open it, it still doesn't really, it just like springs right back. Like it's a very stiff book. It's not my favorite construction for sure. But anywho, what have I been doing today? I feel like I've shown no B-roll. I don't even know what the last thing I said to you guys was, but yeah, it's now Wednesday. My husband will be home in like, he'll be home in like 40 minutes, 30 minutes. So I should probably start dinner in like 15 minutes, I think. I'm making spaghetti with meat sauce made out of venison. That's all we have going on. We also started watching a show, although I don't know why I brought that up because I can't even remember the name of it, but I was kind of into that last night. I was kind of into that over reading, which doesn't happen very often. Some type of like crime show, but they're also investigating like demons and ghosts, and the woman, the investigator, she doesn't, I don't know if she's an investigator or what, but she doesn't believe in that kind of stuff. But yeah, she's being haunted by a demon every night. I don't know. Anywho, I feel like at this point I'm just talking to talk, so I'm probably gonna go. But yeah, I don't know about this book, guys. This might be the first flop of the video, and if it is, so be it. I don't know if we'll pick another video or another read after this, if this is a DNF, because I planned to read 3 books in this video. Although technically, I didn't read Reign of Shadows and Endings in this video, but I did talk about it. So I kind of, in my mind, I'm kind of like counting that because I did feel like I fully talked about it, so. Hopefully you can see me. First, it's now Thursday afternoon, and I'm gonna do some reading updates, but I also want to show you a little haul that I got, and I also want to show you my outfit. I don't know how I feel about this outfit. Can you even see it? I don't know how I feel about this little cropped situation with the button down under it. I've seen this trend a lot, but I don't know. I feel like this is almost too cropped. No one could see it at the store anyway because I had my whole winter coat on, but I just got back from running errands, aka, I mean, I did have some errands, but mostly TJ Maxx, and then I did not end up going to the bookstore. I'm gonna save that for a different day. And then I got groceries, dropped off my coffee pods, all that kind of fun stuff. But I wanted to show you my TJ Maxx haul, because once again, I spent way too much. I got way too much. I got this really cute reusable bag with the bows on it. One of the things I did go in there for were these makeup cuff things, so that when you're taking your makeup off, the water doesn't like run down your sleeves, which I hate. And of course they all come with headbands, so like that's fine. I just got it. That was like $5. And then I got, this was not planned, I got these KitchenAid little peelers. I have one peeler, but it's like really small, and I just feel like my hand's always in the way, so I don't know. I feel like maybe one of these will be better than the one that I have, so I grabbed that because that was also quite inexpensive. As I was walking out, I saw this sweater that I had to have, so I got this. I've been on the hunt for like more really soft, really warm winter sweaters. I feel like all of my sweaters I just wear over and over. I mostly have all the same color. They're all like cream, beige, light pink for the most part. And then this one I don't like wear that often. So yeah, this one was very different from anything that I already had. What is the brand? Marled? I think that's what's called, Marled. But it's so cute. I wish you could feel it too. It's so soft. Ta-da! I mainly wanted to go in because I'm currently in the process of trying to replace all of my non-stick cookware with like stainless steel and stuff like that, and just get rid of like all my plastic stuff. I'm trying to weed that out. It's one of my goals for 2025. So I got a bunch of stainless steel mixing bowls, measuring cups, etc. for Christmas. So that was a really nice start. And then I also got myself some more glass Tupperware containers, like Pyrex bowls and dishes and stuff, like last week from Target. So that was another step. And then today I went and got these stainless steel utensils, but they have like silicone coverings, and I did some research, and silicone, the BPA free kind, which these are, is generally considered safe as long as you're not cooking. I think it's above like 440 degrees or something, which I'm not. So yeah, I also love that the silicone ones like don't scratch. So I got these. I wanted a spatula that didn't have slats in it and like another serving spoon and stuff. So I just got this big set that came with all of these. And then I also did get the one pan I was really looking for, which was like a big kind of deeper skillet that is stainless steel. She looks like this. The brand is David Burke. Yeah, David Burke. And I tried to really like do my research, check all the tags, all of that to make sure that this is like non-coated stainless steel. And I believe this one is, so that means I can replace my big non-stick skillet that I do use all the time, because I'm trying to be better about that. I was also hunting for a small cast iron pan for like my egg pan that I use every single morning to replace that with. But TJ Maxx, of course, right now, they usually have cast iron, but they were all out this time. So that's a bummer. But yeah, this was like the main thing I went for, which I got. But not least, I did last night order a reading chair for my book room. I think I've talked on here on this channel a little bit about how I wanted like a big fuzzy, possibly swivel chair in the corner of my reading room. And all the ones I had been looking at like Ashley or Raymore were like so expensive and also way too big. I needed something much smaller. So I found one that I really liked on Wayfair for $200. And I'm really hoping that it's good quality because it's like half the price of all the other ones I was looking at. But it's like, it's beautiful. Can't wait to show you guys. It's supposed to be here at the end of next week, I believe. So not too long of a wait, but I can't wait to show you guys that. And I have this vision in my head because the color of the chair is like a creamy, like off-white. I had this vision in my head that, especially with Valentine's Day coming up, I really wanted like a Valentine's themed throw blanket on it, as well as maybe like a cute little pillow. I didn't find a pillow, but I did find pretty much like the exact blanket I was envisioning. She's super soft and plush. It's like 50% cotton, I think. I didn't want a blanket that was like all polyester. I feel like all blankets nowadays are mostly made out of polyester, but this one is half cotton. So she's super soft, she's super cute. Can't wait to get the chair, to put this on the chair. And yeah, that is my haul. Let me set this aside. As far as reading updates, I did sit down. I read some more of After the Forest last night, and then I did sit down and read a little more this morning. So I am now, like I showed you guys at the beginning of this, I am on page 255. So I think at this point, yeah, I'm actually a little over halfway. And you know how last time I talked to you guys, I told you that I was not feeling it? Well, when I picked it up last night and this morning, I was once again feeling it and flying through it. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with my reading experience reading this. It's been very kind of like back and forth. I was into it again this morning, and update, we're getting a little bit of a romance finally, which I wasn't really sure going into this one if there was going to be any romance at all, but we are getting a little sprinkling of romance, which any book with romance is going to hold my attention like better. Any romance is going to hold my attention in a book better than not having a romance. So yeah, I am enjoying it. I don't even know like plot-wise what Greta's doing. Like I said, she's baking gingerbread. She's trying to figure out Hans's debts, and I would say that all still stands, but we also now have the added romance factor, which is keeping me a little bit more engaged. I don't know where this book is sitting in my head right now. I feel like my thoughts have been kind of all over the place with it, so I'll have to let you know when I finish it. Either a 3 or a 4 star. Probably, right now it's probably sitting like in somewhere in the 3 stars, just because I have had like some trouble getting into it. That's it for now. I am hoping after I put all of this haul stuff away, I am hoping to put some cozy clothes back on, get these outdoor clothes off. Something about me is as soon as I get home, I need to put like pajamas or cozy clothes back on. And then I'm hoping to relax and read some more because I've been gone pretty much all day. Hello, hello. I am here to bring you some reading updates and some vlog updates. And yeah, it's been probably a couple days now. It's now Saturday morning, and I did finish After the Forest last night. Round of applause. Feels like it took me forever to finish this. It was like 460 something pages. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to settle at like a 2.5 to 3 stars for this one. Oh, look at the light hitting it though. She's so beautiful. And that's kind of how I felt about the writing. The writing was really beautiful, really lush. The setting was like dark fairy tale vibes, kind of eerie, being that it's like an adult Hansel and Gretel retelling. And if you know what happened to Hansel and Gretel, you know that that's kind of dark and eerie. But that is about as far as it extends, like what I liked about this. There were times when I was engaged, like in the beginning and towards the middle, kind of like you saw with my reading experience and updates with the vlog. But for the most part, I felt like I was kind of like slogging through. I wasn't really connected to the characters at all. You're in Greta's point of view like the whole time. I didn't even feel connected to her. For a lot of it, I felt like it was like repetitive and not much was happening. And then even when things were happening, it's like I was not in the story, but on the outside looking in kind of a deal. And I don't know, I wasn't connected to it. I wasn't vibing with it. Unfortunately, fell flat for me. 2.5, 3 stars, I would say. I would recommend it if you are into like historical, darker fairy tale type fantasies, especially if you're into like the 1600s time frame, because it is very like old-timey language and setting. Obviously, you've got this cottage in the woods and these like small villages and townspeople, and you can tell that like research went into this for sure, and that, like I said, the writing's beautiful. I got some really beautiful quotes out of it, but the actual story itself I just found to be boring. So yeah, that is that. I did start a new, well, I've barely started it. I am planning to start Zodiac Academy number 7 this morning. I have my little Kindle stand and everything set up to do that. I've like barely started it. I'm like 2 pages in, and then I went and made breakfast. And the reading vlog here to give me plenty of time next week to edit it and get it up. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me this week and reading with me. As always, I would love to know what you're currently reading, and I'd love to know, have you read any of the books that I read in today's video? If so, did you like them? Oh wait, I forgot I was gonna do a recap. I mean, you guys watched the video though, so like, do I really need to do a recap? I started out the video reading Reign of Shadows and Endings. I'm too lazy to go get the book, so I'll either insert it here or you'll remember. But I was reading Reign of Shadows and Endings, and I gave that 4 stars. Urban fantasy, had a great time. We'll be continuing the series hopefully soon. And then right after that, I read A Fire in the Sky, which was also 4 stars. I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly, but I'm pretty sure both of those were in like the 4-star range. And I actually really surprisingly loved A Fire in the Sky, even though it had some kind of questionable reviews, some really harsh reviews. I really liked it. I thought it was unique, if a bit predictable, but like it's still a fun time, you know? I was there for the dragons, I was there for the romantasy, and we got that, and that's all I wanted. Fire in the Sky, 4 stars. And then I read After the Forest. It took me like 4 days to get through, and unfortunately that one was only 2.5 to 3 stars, which we just talked about. But yeah, I read those 3 books in this vlog. If you've made it this far, again, thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me, and I will see you next time. Bye.